everybody, Simistic this year. I'm going to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. Today I stopped at my local Target, grabbed myself some stuff, but I also stopped over to my local Goodwill, which sells its VHS tapes for 10 cents. So of course, bought a lot, so let's get down to it. Like I said, the first place I stopped was at my local Target, grabbed myself some great Dr. Seuss titles. First thing I picked up was The Cat in the Hat. Already owned this on VHS, so replacing that. This is great. Then I grabbed myself Green Eggs and Ham and Other Favorites. Also have this on VHS, so also replacing that. The Grinch is The Cat in the Hat. Haven't seen this. Look forward to checking that out. And the Lorax. I've also not seen this. Look forward to watching that as well. These are fantastic. If you're into Dr. Seuss or you're into animation at all, I highly recommend these. Very well done. Very well animated. As it says, the animated television classic. I agree. They are television animated classics. These are great. I recommend these for anybody who's a fan, like I said, Dr. Seuss or animation. These are really well done. $5 at Target, great deal, so I say go pick these up. So from there, I headed over to my local Goodwill. First thing I picked up was Bullets Over Broadway. I already own this on VHS, so just replacing that. However, I have not watched this yet. I'm a big Woody Allen fan, so I love his movies. So I definitely got to watch this now they got it on DVD. I cannot wait to check this out. Everything I've seen by his has just been brilliant, so I'm sure this is going to be no exception. Now down to the 10-cent VHS tapes. First thing I grabbed was America's Funniest Home Videos, Animal Antics. This is just one of those, like, what the hell VHS tapes you kind of grab. You know, it's cheap. You figure, what the hell, I'll pick it up. I used to watch America's Funniest Home Videos, like, back in, you know, the old school days of America's Funniest Home Videos, back when I was a kid. Don't really watch it too much nowadays, but figured, you know, I'll pick this up. I don't think it's going to be anything great. I mean, it's just animals being goofy, doing weird things. But I figured, what the hell, for 10 cents, I'll check it out. Maybe it's good. Next thing I grabbed was Manchurian Candidate. I have not seen this, but I've heard great things. I love Denzel Washington. All his movies I've seen him in are pretty much great. So, had to grab this. I hope it's as good as everybody says. Then I got X Games. That's just what this is titled, X Games. This is from 1996, so this is like back at the very beginning of X Games. This features a bunch of, you know, there's a bunch of sports there. Bunch of stuff that is no longer in the X Games. I mean, things like bungee jumping, what's something called Extreme Adventure. I don't know, all kinds of stuff that are just not in the X Games anymore. Because if you've seen the X Games when they first started out, it was very weird. It wasn't just like, now the X Games is really serious. It's just, you know, serious extreme sports. Whereas back then, it was, yeah, there was biking and skateboarding and all that stuff, but there was also like just really weird crap. So some of that's on here. I'll look forward to checking this out just because I want to, you know, I've seen like old school X Games videos, but I look forward to watching some more, and I'm a big fan of the X Games, so it should be fun. Then I grabbed Billy Elliot. I don't know anything about this. I never even really heard about this. It just sounded interesting from the synopsis, and I figured, what the hell, I'll grab it. I've come across this a few times on VHS and DVD here and there, but I've always passed it up because I don't really know anything about it. But I figured for 10 cents, I'll pick it up. Hopefully, you know, it's as good as the little top there says. I don't know, so we'll see. Then I picked up, and this I've never heard of. I believe it's pronounced I'm Not a Rappaport. Guess this is how you say that. I don't know. It just seems like one of those, like, you know, old people buddy comedies, which I tend to enjoy. Everything I've pretty much seen, like Grumpy Old Men and The Odd Couple and all that stuff, you know, they're good movies. So I figure, what the hell, I'll check it out for 10 cents. You know, if it sucks, who cares? But it looks like it might be pretty good. Then I got some Margaret show. I'm the One That I Want. I've come across this a few times on DVD, but every time I come across it, it's always used and it's always scratched. So I've never got it. But today I came across it on VHS. You know, probably the VHS is fine, so had to grab it. I love Margaret show. I find her, you know, her stand-up pretty funny, so look forward to checking that out. Then a movie I wanted to see for a while now, and that is Mystic Pizza. This is just one of those films that I've heard a lot about. I know it's somewhat of a classic, but every time I come across it on DVD, it's always either a bit too expensive for what I want to pay for it, or even if it is like a good price, there's always something else I want to get instead, so I end up just passing this one up. But for 10 cents, I figured I finally get to check this one out. Like I said, I've wanted to see this for a very long time now, and I've just heard it's a great movie, so definitely look forward to watching that. Now on to the Shelley Duvall hour, because I picked up a whole boatload of Shelley Duvall's Bedtime Stories VHS tapes. Now, for those of you who have not watched this show, best way to describe it is if, I'm sure you've all seen Reading Rainbow, so if you remember Reading Rainbow, the part where they read you the story, that's what this is. but they're always narrated by an actor, a musician, just somebody famous. They're the ones reading the story to you. These are pretty well done. If you're a fan of Reading Rainbow, I see no reason why you wouldn't like these. I bought one of these maybe 2-3 weeks ago, watched it, thought it was great. I actually really enjoyed it. Yes, it is for children, but again, it has that Reading Rainbow feel to it. So if you like Reading Rainbow, and I'm a huge Reading Rainbow fan, so if you like that, you're probably going to like these. So I picked up a lot. This is the first one, comes with My New Neighbors and Rotten Island. This one here is Blumpoe the Grumpoe meets Arnold the Cat and Millions of Cats. This is There's a Nightmare in My Closet, There's an Alligator in My Bed, and There's Something in My Attic. Elbert's Bad Word and Weird Parents. Little Toot and the Loch Ness Monster and Choo Choo, the story of the little engine who ran away. Aunt Ippy's Museum of Junk and Uncle Wismo's New Used Car. And Elizabeth and Larry and Bill and Pete. These are all, I mean, like, you know, narrated by Dudley Moore, Ed Bickley Jr., let's see, Rick Moranis, Ringo Starr, Kristen Slater, John Candy, Billy Crystal, you know, just to name a few. I mean, every story is narrated by somebody different, but very cool. Again, if you like Reading Rainbow, you're probably going to check these out. I now have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the one I already have, 8, so I now have 8 of these tapes. I don't know if I have them all, but I'm assuming I'm either pretty darn close to having them all, or I do have them all, so very cool. Again, it is a pretty decent show. I would recommend, if you're into Reading Rainbow and stuff, definitely check these out. Like I said, they're pretty well done. Yeah, for kids, but I really enjoy them. They're really fun stories too, and the fact that they're narrated by famous people makes it even more of that cool. So, Shelley Duvall's Bedtime Stories, check them out. And the last thing I picked up today from Goodwill is something new that I'm thinking about collecting. I've come across these a lot. You know, I see them all the time, very cheap, but I never really picked them up. I do own a few of these, but the ones I do own are pretty much my absolute favorites, and I've downloaded them all. I do not actually own any physical copies, and those are soundtracks. Soundtracks are great. If, you know, a movie would not be a movie without a soundtrack, and some of them are just pure brilliant. Some movie soundtracks are perfect. You can listen to the first track to the last track and never skip a track because they're just so well done. I do own a lot. I own a lot, like pretty much all the Disney's, like that thing you do, stuff like that. But I've downloaded all of them, so I don't actually own any physical copies, like I said. But I'm thinking about actually starting to collect these, owning physical copies, owning CDs, because, you know, to go along with my movie collection, want to have the movie soundtracks, because, like I said, they're great. So the first one for my collection now is music from the motion picture Pulp Fiction. I have heard this before. This is great. Great soundtrack. I'm sure you've all seen the movie, and if you've seen the movie, you know it has a fantastic soundtrack. So I think this is a great way to start off my new collection. Also, this is one of my favorite movies, so perfect. So you can expect to see a lot more of these in my upcoming videos. So that's it for what I bought today, and now on to what I watched. And what I watched was Starship Troopers. Finally. I went through a huge process trying to watch this movie. Bought it on Blu-ray. Turns out the Blu-ray does not play in a Blu-ray player without internal memory. My Blu-ray player does not have internal memory. Sent away for the replacement disc, thinking they're going to fix the issue. Get the replacement disc back a month later. Turns out the only thing they fixed was something, I think it had to do something with the picture, the audio or something. They fixed that. They did not fix the playback problem, so I still could not watch it. Had to go out, buy myself a copy on DVD just so I could finally sit down and watch it. I only paid $3 for this, so it's fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. But finally sat down and watched this today, and it was worth it. This movie was fantastic. Really enjoyed this. Just a fun, cheesy sci-fi movie. I mean, this movie is cheese. I mean, it's just full of it. And I love it. If you guys know me, you guys watch my channel, you know I love cheesy movies, and this definitely delivered plenty of cheese. So if you're into, like, just cheesy sci-fi movies, you're really going to like this. I mean, I wouldn't really say it reminded me of, like the movies from, like, the 50s and 60s or anything like that. It's not really that kind of feel. It's definitely a modern feel, but at the same time, just over-the-top cheeseball. I mean, great one-liners, just tons of action, just lots of violence, nudity, all the stuff you would expect to see in a cheesy sci-fi action movie. you get that in this. So if that's your thing, I would highly, highly recommend Starship Troopers. You know, if cheesy sci-fi movies are not your thing, you're definitely going to want to stay away. But otherwise, definitely check this movie out. It was fantastic. Well worth the wait. I'm definitely glad I watched this. Now I have Starship Troopers 2 and 3, and I'm definitely going to sit down and watch those real soon. I mean, maybe even this week, and I'll probably check them out, because this was great. I really look forward to seeing the sequels. I'm sure they're not as good, but then again, this movie wasn't necessarily good. It was one of those just, it was so cheesy that it was good type of movies. So if the other two movies are just as cheesy and just as goofy, I'm going to love them. So we'll see. But fantastic movie. Again, highly recommended if just cheesy sci-fi movies are your thing. It was great. So that's it, guys. A lot of stuff. Not going to do a recap. You know, picked up a ton of Shelley Duvall, picked up a ton of Dr. Seuss, and a bunch of other stuff. So, good day. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned to see what I bought, what I watch tomorrow. See ya.